Good afternoon. Welcome to Thursday's Talk with Travel Time. We're a full-service agency, and we service clients in Canada and the U.S. And over a series of webinars like this, we have been able to bring pertinent information to bring you details for filling your bucket list for the travel experiences that you would like to have once travel resumes to normal. We understand everybody's comfort level with travel is going to be different, and that is okay. We understand, and we'll be here when you are ready to start your planning process. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined by two special guests, one of whom is Wanda Smith-Sparks, who is on my team at Travel Time, located in the Carbonear area. And she has a lot of clients who are very interested in cruising, and I'm sure they'll be interested today to hear what we all have to say, and in particular what Wanda has to say for the information going forward. We're also joined by Maxine Gundermann, who is our Celebrity Cruises representative here in Canada, and she is going to bring us lots of great valuable information going forward for the cruise experience with Celebrity Cruises. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you,
Lois.
So Maxine, we'll start off with you. We know you have some great information to share, and we're all ears today. And so you can tell us. And I think you're going to show us a little bit of information on some slides and some photos about the Celebrity Cruise experience.
That's correct. And thank you so much for having me. Great to be able to share a few things about Celebrity Cruises. You might have sailed before, you might have experienced Celebrity before, or maybe you've never cruised and it's been on your list and you're just really interested in it. And Celebrity Cruises truly is something special for you to look into. We know currently we are not sailing, and we are working very diligently with all government agencies and experts behind the scenes to have a very healthy, safe return to service. So that remains our primary goal, and we do anticipate getting back into operation very soon. But for all of you who might not be so familiar, we have a beautiful fleet of 14 ships. What you're seeing here, we have three, let's call them models of ships. They're series, different sizes of ships. So we have 4 in the Millennium series, which is about 2,200 passengers. Then we have 5 in our Solstice series at 2,800 passengers. And we are in the midst of building a whole new series of ships, very innovative, very stylish, the Edge series. So we've already come out with 2, and we have another one coming out next spring, and we've already started construction on the 4th in that Edge series. Then we have 3 very unique ships, very, very small ships, in the Galapagos Islands for expeditions. So the Celebrity Expedition herself, 48 passengers, Celebrity Flora, 100 passengers, and Celebrity Exploration, which is only 16 passengers. So that's all about snorkeling and hiking and adventures in the Galapagos Islands. So as you can see with this beautiful fleet, we can sail all over the world, and we do touch all 7 continents. So depending on if you're looking for a winter escape, you can get to Australia, New Zealand, Asia, South Pacific, South America, or a summer adventure. You might be in Alaska or Europe or Bermuda. And then, of course, we sail all year round in the Caribbean with seasons to Hawaii and Panama Canal in the spring and fall. So lots of land to cover, but we do so by sea. And your only question is, where do you want to go next? And then you're going to call Wendy and Lois for all their advice. But what makes Celebrity so special is the ships. You know, the journey is part of the experience. It's a big part of the experience. And what you're looking at right now is one of the most iconic features on the Edge series. It's the magic carpet that physically overhangs the side of the ship. So you're sailing and getting the most spectacular views. It's a bar, it's a restaurant, it's a lounge, whatever you'd like it to be. But we really specialize, it's what we call medium size cruising. We're able to provide luxury on a larger ship so that you have lots of space, but yet still not that many passengers. So medium size in terms of the capacity gives us more space per person. So what you're looking at here is the largest pool at sea. It is 75 feet long. There are 2-story high hot tubs. There's a jogging track that spans from deck 14 to deck 16. So you get a little bit of a gradient there as well. Lots of outdoor space, lots of real greenery in our garden with an outdoor movie screen, outdoor dining, live music, sensational indoor venues, cocktail lounges, restaurants, live entertainment throughout. And then it comes to the accommodations. Sailing in style, you have lovely suites and staterooms to choose from, the bathrooms, the private balconies, all part of that experience. And as I mentioned, something very special in the Galapagos, a true adventure, unlike any other, is all about snorkeling, hiking, and being up close and personal with the wildlife there. Last but not least, we wanted to let you know that Celebrity Cruises has the drinks included, the tips included, and unlimited high-speed Wi-Fi included. And that's always included on every Celebrity cruise around the world. So if you haven't sailed before, you might not know that Celebrity Cruises has that all-inclusive concept, and your travel agents can tell you more about that. Speaking of your travel agents, those at TPI are very savvy to get you right in front of the suppliers themselves, the experts one-on-one, but also to be able to give you exclusive rates and exclusive bonuses. So whether it's onboard credits, specialty dining opportunities and events, but their rates, you can have exclusive rates for yourself, but they also provide extra group rates. So huge savings by booking through TPI. So whether you're ready to book now or you're planning for the future, we do have the promise for you to cruise with confidence. We provide refundable deposits. You can right now cancel for any reason. That gives us a little bit more confidence in the current climate. And we always have the best price guarantee. So you can book a Celebrity cruise right now through May of 2023 worldwide, or in the Galapagos, we're actually open through December of 2023. So you can see, while we're not sailing right now, we do have the opportunity to plan and get excited about traveling in the near future. So I believe you might have some questions for me.
Yeah, we do, absolutely. Some of the types of things that clients ask us when it comes to cruising, and I know Wanda probably has a few to add from her side of things as well. But we all often get asked that, when is the best time to go on a cruise?
That's a great question. But as you've seen, we do sail all around the world. And so for that reason, the best time depends on where you want to go. Is it a summer adventure or a winter adventure? Are you traveling solo, or are you traveling with your loved one, with your friends, or with a family? So we sail 365 days a year. It really comes down to your schedule, because we're here for you.
That sounds like a great answer. So really what I'm hearing is that any time of year can be a great cruise experience. And obviously it does depend on what part of the world you're going to. Some people like to cruise in warm weather, some prefer cooler. What would you say, Wanda, would be the biggest request that you would get?
It's funny because it seems like everybody asks that question. When's the best time to cruise? There is no bad time to cruise. Every day time is a perfect time to cruise. And everybody who knows me knows that I say that a lot. It's funny too, because I have sold a lot of Celebrity cruise packages, and it amazes me when someone calls me up and says, we want to go to here, or we want to go there, and it's, really? You want to do that? And when do you want to go? And there's nothing that's off the charts. It's whatever they want to do. And there's always an option available with Celebrity Cruise Line. Always.
For example, there are some unique sailings that just happen one time a year, or, for a very short amount of time. So growing in popularity are our Antarctica cruises. So leaving from Buenos Aires in Argentina, we do that every January, and we do 4 cruises. So it's a 12 to 14 night sailing. So January to mid-February, that's the only time it's offered. Or maybe you want to go to Iceland, and that's only going to be offered in the summer months, into the fall time, so you can see the northern lights. So really picking where you want to go first, and then you as the travel advisors and experts would be able to tell your guests the best time to go to maximize that experience.
If you were to say when the busiest time to travel on a cruise would be, I would tend to think it would be around holiday times. Would that be fair?
Absolutely. And holidays around the world change. So if we're thinking about the Caribbean, Christmas cruises, New Year's cruises are my absolute favorite. It doesn't mean that they're busy, but they're popular. But
Right.
if we're talking the Mediterranean, then your busiest months are July and August. And better time to go would be September and the early October, because it's not as hot, but school's not out. So it depends on who you're with. If you want to avoid, the main vacationers and the kids are out of school, then avoid those holiday periods. But if you are traveling with your family, it's a fantastic time to go.
Now, you did mention that you're a luxury cruise line, you're a larger luxury cruise line. And so I was wondering what people would think about family cruises on a luxury cruise line. What's your thoughts on that?
Yes, we really do specialize in multi-gen cruising, because there's something for everyone on board. And it's just how you would compare hotels. Luxury families shouldn't be restricted to just, the kid-centric products, because the parents are the ones paying, or maybe the grandparents. So you want 5-star dining, and you want 5-star service, and you want spectacular shows. So Celebrity is the perfect cruise line for those families, because, well, we're not stuffy and stiff in terms of old school traditional luxury. So you really have that warm, inviting, genuine feel in a modern setting. I mean, you saw the photos of on board the ship. They're very modern in that sense. But again, because it's more of a luxury item, you're not going to see the mix of passengers being half the ship kids. So there's enough that we have a fabulous kids program, teen program, really cool collaborations and partnerships, so that they're engaged and they have a lot to do. But at the same time, we have that enjoyable level for all of our guests and the rest of the family.
One thing that I've observed too on some of the cruises I've been on is that if you are not sailing around like a school holiday or summer vacation, that type thing, there's going to be automatically less kids on board. So even if people want to go with their kids, whether they want there to be a lot of kids on the ship, that is something to go by as a rule of thumb for sure.
Absolutely. And the destination and the length of sailing also determines the mix of passengers. So if you're on a 7-night cruise, then you're going to see more families than if you're on a 14-night cruise. So that naturally will dictate the mix of passengers as well.
Right.
And luxury doesn't mean stuffy. Luxury doesn't mean that every night is a formal night, does it, Maxine?
Correct. Yes, we really have changed the perception of what cruising can be. So we don't have formal nights. We call them evening chic, where, even current formal, we're not doing ducktails and big ball gowns. It really is on trend, more casual for cruise attire, but we still do the champagne toast and fabulous lobster dinners. So it's this perfect blend that you don't have to bring a whole nother set of attire for that to participate in that.
That's really
wonderful.
good to know. And that is like, people like to go out and eat in a nice restaurant, and on board a ship, being able to do that in a fashion where the service is superb, the food is really good, but there's no bill handed to you at the end of the meal, is a great family experience. I've done that with my own adult children. And I can say that is one of the big pluses about being on board a ship for a vacation.
The culinary on Celebrity is second to none. where it's all about variety. And that's the difference between small ship cruising and our medium-sized ships, is that we can have 10 restaurants and 15 bars on board. And so whether you're journeying to rich, decadent French cuisine in one restaurant, or sushi, seafood, or outdoor dining in another venue, there's that total opportunity for different experiences.
Amazing choices. Amazing.
Just in case there's some new cruisers watching this who've never been on a celebrity ship before, just in a nutshell, can you just tell us what the day in the life of a cruiser on board would be like? The activity.
I would love to. It provides me the opportunity to daydream about being back on board. A day in the life, and the main thing, because I do speak to those who've never cruised on a daily basis, and the main thing to remember is the majority of your cruise is actually on land. Don't forget about the fact that every day you're waking up in a new destination. So when people who haven't cruised ask me, well, will I feel trapped on board, or will I feel bored? And how can you do so long at sea? And it's like, well, depending on where you are, you probably aren't going to be at sea for more than one day at a time. But I personally love the sea days because there's so much to do on board. So first thing in the morning, go to the open deck. If you're a really early riser, maybe you're seeing the sunrise. There's this fabulous buffet cafe at the top deck with outdoor seating, and they're making the eggs Benedict and fresh croissants and eggs and all of that. And then I'll go on the jogging track. I do love, to be able to get up and move. And there's the spa on board with fitness center opportunities. And then there's learning, there's craft and dancing and all sorts of things throughout the day. But where I really enjoy it is in the evening. So even if you were in port every day, you still have the evenings on board for the dining and the main production shows. So the fact that you have Broadway spectacles, costumes, music, comedians, live singing, all complimentary, all at your fingertips. You're looking at an agenda of so many different options from end to end of the ship, theme parties and interactive engagements. It really is the perfect blend of vacation.
It certainly doesn't sound like somewhere anybody would get bored too quickly.
Indeed.
Never, ever, ever.
So that was one of the things that, back to the early cruises that I got to experience myself. That was one of the things that I found so interesting, is that you're waking up every morning in a different port of call, a different country, and just the variety of the experience. You can never duplicate that in a land vacation. So that is the plus. Plus you unpack that one time, and the rest of the week you're pulling it out of your drawer in your closet, the same as if you were at home in your bedroom.
That's the special part. We've all done land adventures, especially in Europe, and you're lugging luggage from train stations to bus to ferry, whatever the case may be. And this is just the most comfortable way to explore multiple destinations in one cruise.
Seeing that we're all women on this panel here today, I just wanted to make mention that you have a very famous captain who does very well on Instagram. I've shared some of her things recently, and it gets an incredible amount of engagement. And I think she goes by Captain Kate.
That is correct. Our very own Captain Kate McHugh. She was the first female captain of an American ocean liner. And so we're so proud of her and her accomplishments, and so excited. She just went on vacation yesterday, actually. She's at the helm of Celebrity Edge, one of those brand new ships now. So great engagement. And all of our captains, in fact, really strive to be out in public. While you're on the ship, you can see our captains out and about, talk to them, approach them, and it really makes quite a special difference.
Yeah, she does a great job on Instagram. I recommend anybody follow her if you're into Instagram. It makes for some interesting scrolling, lots of days to see her post.
Maxine, when I was in Florida to attend Cruise 360, I had the honor to inspect the Celebrity Edge. And I think you should talk a little bit about the verandas and what happens on the edge and what's on the apex now, I think, as well.
Indeed. And in fact, the third ship, we are about 2 weeks away from revealing some exciting news about Celebrity Beyond. So that's the third one. So do stay tuned to that very shortly. But you're right. It's a brand new innovation technology called the Infinite Veranda. And an infinite veranda is the perfect versatility aspect. You know, if we had young families who didn't feel comfortable on a veranda, an infinite veranda actually allows you to close that opening or open it. So total versatility. So imagine if you were in a place, you know, you're sailing and maybe it was windy or maybe it was raining, you actually can still be on your balcony, use it more, and have that climate control essentially. So it opens up the space. You no longer have a sliding door to walk out onto your balcony. The glass wall completely opens up from end to end of your room. And then again, you have that control of the exterior. So very cool technology on the edge.
Yeah, amazing technology. I can't wait to see the wonder.
If somebody was going on a cruise for the first time, this is a question I get a lot, and just see if your information changes my opinion any. But people ask, what is the ideal length for a first cruise? And what advice would you give?
My advice 100% is 7 nights.
Okay,
There are shorter cruises.
I'm right on. We agree on that.
Good, good. Of course, we have 3 nights, 4 nights, and all these samplers, but it's not a true sample. And so to really appreciate the full cruise experience, you want to have the programming that we provide in a 7-night cruise, because the dinner menu changes every single night. The shows change every single night. So if you're only on there for a few days, these ships are so magnificent that you're not even going to have enough time to explore the whole ship, believe it or not. Even on a 7-night cruise or a 10-night cruise, you're still finding new secret, locations or favorite bars or favorite staff members that you didn't see the whole cruise. So the longer you cruise, the better. But for a first time cruiser, 7-night is the perfect length to get the full programming and not miss out on anything, and have the time to get comfortable around the ship.
One of the aspects, I guess, that I've looked at for clients like that when they have that question is looking at the price per day. And when you look at the price per day, it's usually the 7-night cruise that is a winner for sure, if you're looking at it that way from that experience as far as cost. And when you point out and think about on a cruise, it's the same as going on vacation and having not just your hotel covered, but your meals covered, and with the all-in package, your drinks and beverages covered, and most of your entertainment is covered. So, when you look at that as a whole package, you can totally see that, the price per night is a real bargain in most cases.
Indeed. The value of cruising is spectacular, and people don't realize.
I don't think it's just the organized events. I know they're spectacular, those Broadway shows, but I even like when they do, the dancers come out and they show you how to dance, and they have trivia games, and we sit around, you get to know some of the other cruisers, and they actually come out, the people that work on the ship, and they talk to you, they play with you. It's so engaging. They engage everybody on the ship. So cruising is the ultimate. And now with the all-inclusive, Celebrity hits a mark way above.
The people who work on these ships do it because they enjoy the job, for sure.
Absolutely.
Back to the cost per night and the whole value equation. We can't end this broadcast without talking a little bit about our Virtuoso group space. And we're part of Travel Professionals International, which is a Virtuoso agency, it means the top luxury agents in the country get to be part of that. So Travel Time is honored to be part of that association. What that means is that Virtuoso space brings benefits to your booking. So it's sometimes in rates, but it's sometimes in added values, which Maxine alluded to when she was speaking and showing that slide. And we do see instances where the rate we can get through that virtuoso association can be literally hundreds of dollars difference than what you see yourself. So for anybody who thinks that they are their own travel agent and they can find the best deals out there, if you're talking to a virtuoso agent and looking at cruise prices, you are definitely not correct in that instance. So we'd be happy to assist with looking at that for anybody who is part of that. And I know that Wanda had some really great price points on some of her celebrity cruises for last year.
Well, actually, as you were saying, hundreds of dollars savings, I was thinking, am I allowed to say? Last year, I actually had a request for a quote, and the lady actually said to me, I'm going to look at 3 different agents and get quotes, and I need 24 hours to make a decision. And I sent her in the price from our virtuoso prices, and she replied to say, nobody can touch your prices. It was $3,000 less.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And
so she told her
that,
friend, and I booked 4 cabins.
It's not just about the pricing either. It's about the expertise of the agency and our agents. And Wanda's a prime example of that. She's spent time attending cruise events and cruise training and even doing it by virtual webinars and things like that, and has received an accreditation that makes her an expert cruise advisor. So congratulations for that, Wanda.
Thank you, Lois. That was just last month. Thank you.
Before we finish off, I'll just have a look and see if we have any questions. And we do have a few questions. Okay, this one's from Heather Kelly. She says, I've been on a cruise. What would you recommend for a beginner? So Maxine, we'll let you take that one.
I have a very fun answer, and then I have another answer, because there is no real answer. I had first-time cruisers book that 14-night Antarctica cruise last January. So there is no recommendation for a beginner. However, if I were to start somewhere, first I would ask where do you live? Because for me, getting to the cruise, right, you have to take a flight, or maybe you can drive. Maybe that's going to direct you in the right direction. So very commonly, because we have the most amount of ships there, is a Caribbean cruise. But a lot of people will start with an Alaska cruise, or will start with a European cruise, because cruising is easy. It really is a matter of where do you want to go and when. So for example, a Mediterranean cruise can be 10 nights, and you might visit 8 places. So you would only have 2 sea days, one at the beginning, maybe one at the end, and it's more port intensive. So if you're really curious about cruising and you're not so sure how you're going to enjoy the sea days, maybe you want to look at more of a port intensive itinerary. We have cruises out of San Juan, Puerto Rico in the Caribbean, where on a 7-night cruise, you visit 6 places. There's only 1 sea day. Whereas if you start in Fort Lauderdale, you could very well be 2 or 3 sea days on a 7-night cruise and 3 to 4 ports. So maybe looking at the ratio of itineraries is the best place to start.
Yeah, and what we talked about earlier with the duration, that 7-night cruise is probably a good place to start as far as the choices of what you would do. And a question here about how has COVID changed your cruises? Will travelers be required to be vaccinated? I don't know if you have any information on that.
Yes, it's a fair question. And the good news is we're days away from announcing a couple of big announcements. So tomorrow, in fact, there will be some announcements in this regard. And the COVID has changed cruising. And what's interesting is, while there will be short-term protocol that needs to be temporarily in place, there's actually long-term advantages and improvements that we're going to see as we've just examined how best we can continue to improve. So the use of technology allows us to have seamless check-ins and frictionless, less contact getting on and off the ship. But when it comes to vaccines, we will have to see, especially if you're in Canada or the US, it depends on when the vaccine becomes readily available more than anything. So definitely more to come on that, but it's a really, we're looking very positively in the future. But the most important thing is the safety and security of our passengers, our crew, and the destinations that we visit.
And I will say that these are topics that we are keeping abreast of here at Travel Time. And we certainly would be happy to look at any information that's needed and keep you informed all along the way. But back to the flexibility of a cruise, like any of the questions that people have, is not a reason to wait until the industry is back in full swing. Because one of the things we're seeing is that space is going to be an issue, and price is going to result in that as well. So it makes sense with these flexible terms to have an option to look forward to. And if anybody else is like me, I desperately need a few things to look forward to with all the vacations that we've missed. And I know all three of us here are probably in the same boat, literally.
Oh, yes.
Just what to say.
Maxine, I've had a couple of questions sent to me over the last couple of weeks regarding buffets. And will we still have access to a buffet? They're scared we're removing the buffet.
We would never do that to you, Wanda. The good news is, because I love it. I always want the variety. I want, they have big carving stations, roast beef and turkey. And so breakfast, lunch, and dinner, there's 10 different desserts. I love it. But what we can do is have full service. So I don't anticipate touching, a serving tool or a set of tongs anytime soon, but we can still go to the buffet and have full service in that venue. These ships were actually built really perfectly for physical distancing and sanitization purposes. We have hand washing stations, not just, hand sanitizer. We have full sinks at the beginning of our buffet. So that's just the regular flow to get into the beautiful venue. So we're very confident that we can still provide 5-star experience and just actually better service.
I anticipate that with everybody now having their future cruise credits and wanting to use them very, very soon, that there's going to be a lot of limited space left for people to book for the next 2 years.
Yes, I do anticipate that. If we think all of this started at early 2020, it means that the summer of 2020 was affected. And it's very possible that those who moved from 2020 to 21 will also move from 21 to 22. And so that's 2 years of demand plus all the new demand for 22 and beyond. So it is true that that you're going to see that it's limited inventory.
That's all very relevant information. And I think that for any of the listeners that are on here today, this has all been very valuable. So we want to thank you, Maxine, for providing us the guidance that you have. And thanks to Wanda for sharing her insight and expertise as well. We know that everybody's comfort level for travel will return at different times. And for all the advisors at Travel Time, I would just say that we understand all of that, and we're ready to help you plan your next vacation when you're ready and comfortable to do so. And we will be here. That is the assurance that we can give. And thank you very much to both of you.
Thank you, Lois. I do want to say the best thing anyone can do is book through local savvy travel agents such as yourselves, because it's a lot to navigate, and you guys are the experts. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Maxine. And thank you, Lois.
We're glad to support Celebrity Cruises. Thank you.